That's not bedrock. That's a hull. A $2.4 million Rimac Nevera, gone for 6 years. If this is really it, we just found the most expensive ghost in Utah. Grid's clean. Whatever's down there is intact. No wreckage scatter. Storm's the same one from the record run. Locals still call it the Bonneville Ghost Storm. Pressure's cratering the same way it did in 19. We've got maybe 90 minutes before that wall's back on top of us.
2 passes agree. Whatever's down there sits a little under 2 feet of crust, shallow enough to reach before that storm arrives. Prototype electric hypercar, built to break the Salt Flats speed record. Then the storm hit, and it just disappeared.
No official recovery report. No insurance claim ever filed. Somebody wanted this buried.
There, composite panel, maybe 4 inches down. Whoever buried this wasn't hiding a wreck. They were hiding a working car. Here's the color. Whole car's still got paint on it. That's not weather damage, that's preservation. Roof line's clean. No impact damage. This thing didn't crash tide, it was parked here. Cabin's sealed. If the interior survives 6 years under salt, we're looking at a time capsule. Door's not locked from outside. Whoever left it, left in a hurry. Front end's untouched. No collision, no scraping. It was driven in here and left running until the battery died.
Timing tower lost radio contact 6 minutes before the storm hit. Driver never called back in.
6 years buried and the paint still looks factory fresh. Salt crust sealed it like a vault. That's a $2.4 million hypercar sitting in a hole in the desert. Nobody just walks away from that. Seals fused. We're gonna need the pry bar. Chassis number matches the recall list from the 19 program. This is the exact car that vanished, not a look-alike. Whatever's inside has been vacuum sealed by salt for 6 years. First one to open a time capsule like this. Cabin's bone dry. Whoever built this thing built it to survive worse than a storm. Helmet's still here, visor's cracked, but there's no blood, no impact pattern. He wasn't wearing it when he left. Driver's logbook. Last entry's timestamped the morning of the storm. Drive selector's jammed between modes. He was fighting the car for control when he left it. That's not storm damage. Those wires were cut with a blade. Somebody disabled this car on purpose. Clean angle, single cut, no fraying. Whoever did this knew exactly where the kill switch lived. Backup pack's cut too. Whoever did this wanted 0 chance of the car restarting on its own. Rival land speed team was camped 2 miles from here that same week. Nobody ever asked them a single question. Backup pack's cut too. Whoever did this wanted 0 chance of the car restarting on its own. Taped under the seat. He hid this before he walked away. If there's telemetry on here, it might be the only record of what actually happened that morning. Same pattern as 19. This storm's rebuilding, not passing. We get the data out, or we get the car out. Might not have time for both. Tires still holding pressure. This car was ready to drive the day it went under. Wear pattern says he was already past 400 miles an hour when the shutdown hit. He was 1 run from the record.
Careful on the frame, Tay. 1 bad angle, and we crack a chassis that survived 6 years underground.
Now we've got a small window before that storm swallows the whole flat again. There's a restricted perimeter fence buried right behind where we were digging. This wasn't just a public salt flat run. Somebody official knew this car was out here, and nobody ever came back for it. There she is. There she is. 6 years down, and she's coming up in one piece.
Corroded, but readable. Give it a second.
There it is. Remote disconnect, logged at 0641, 1 minute before the timing tower lost him.
Matches exactly. Somebody cut this car's brain from a distance, then the storm rolled in and buried the evidence. She's moving. Salt's letting go. Strap's loose, hold the ramp, hold it. We need to be loaded before that wall gets here. It buried a hypercar once already. Strap's solid. Let's get her onto the trailer before the wind changes its mind.
He says if this checks out, it's the most valuable unresolved land speed case in Bonneville history.
Easy, easy, easy. Straight up the ramp. Don't let her drift left. There she goes. First time this car's moved under her own wheels in 6 years. Locked down. She's not going anywhere but with us now. Whoever buried this wanted it forgotten. We just unforgot it. Go, go, go! We're out a window! That's the second time that storms tried to keep this car. It's not getting a third. Paint's flawless under all that crust. Whoever built this thing built it to last. Last line just says, if anyone finds this, the shutdown was not a malfunction. He knew. Rival team leaves the same week the record attempt gets killed. That's not a coincidence, that's a motive. Serial number's still here. If this driver's still out there, this number finds him. Verified sabotage case, matching chassis number, working telemetry, goal, that number just went a lot higher than the sticker price. Data, a logbook, and a car nobody was supposed to find. That's enough to reopen this whole story. 2 hours to town, then this whole story gets a second chapter nobody expected. No claim was ever filed on a $2.4 million loss. That alone opens a fraud investigation, sabotage or not. 6 years in the ground, and this is the easy part. Now, the real work starts. Cosmetic damage is nothing. It's the sabotage cuts and 6 years of salt corrosion underneath that decide how deep this rebuild goes. Every panel gets tagged, nothing goes back on out of order. Salt got further into the subframe than I wanted. That's corrosion we'll have to cut out and section.
There go the paint. Whatever color this car wears next, it's starting from bare carbon.
Couple of stress marks near the door hinge, but nothing structural. This panel's a keeper. Every panel's clean now. No trace of the old color left anywhere. This crack lines up almost exactly with the sabotage cut. Whoever did this stressed the frame on the way out. 6 years buried with cut coolant lines. This pack isn't getting reused. It's getting replaced outright. New pack, new coolant lines. No trace of the original sabotage left in this car's heart. Every bushing, every seal clawed replaced. This car's not fighting 6-year-old rubber anymore. Every wire that got cut on the salt flat has a brand new twin now. Nobody's shutting this car down remotely again. Interior's coming out completely. If we're doing this right, nothing old stays in this cabin either. Gaps have to be perfect before primer. One low spot shows through the final color forever.
Gaps are even all the way around. Now we can finally commit to paint.
Blank canvas. Whatever we choose next, this is the last time this car is any color at all. Going back to the original violet feels like pretending the last 6 years didn't happen. Aurora teal. Let's make sure nobody forgets this recovery either. There it is. 6 years of violet, gone in one pass. There it is. 6 years of violet, gone in one pass. Every panel's getting the same 3 coats. Consistency now is what keeps this color even for the next 10 years. There's the gloss. That's the first time this car's had a shine since before it went into the ground. Color's fully committed now. No going back to violet after this. Wet sand, buff, repeat. This is what turns good paint into a mirror. Glass back in, trim back on. She's starting to look whole again too, just not the color anyone remembers.
Stitching matches the paint now. Whole car tells one consistent story instead of 2.
There's a heartbeat. 6 years dark, and she just woke up.
That's the first time this car's moved on command since the day it vanished. Feels like a completely different machine.
Gaps are tight, paint's even, everything's torqued to spec. She's done. Same car that came out of that salt flat, but nobody's ever gonna mistake her for that violet ghost again. Next time, we track down the driver who walked away from a $2.4 million hypercar. Subscribe so you don't miss it.